Hi there, LinkedIn members. Drill number 3 deals with no guideline drafting best practices, and first, the from option. In this case, I don't know the width of the upper left room, but I want it to be 310, so I stretch it from a point at the right. Use the from option for pointing the opposite point and set the width to be 310. Now, by continuing the dimension, I want to check and double check, and voila. Now, in this other case, I know the actual vertical dimensions, but I do not intend to use them for calculating anything. So before I stretch the horizontal partition wall to be at a certain distance of 145 in this case, from the outer wall, like so. Because the dimensions are associative, everything is just fine. I can use the from option to use a sketch and turn it into a precise piece of geometry. Always using the from option by pointing the opposite side. In this case, I use the perpendicular O-snap and moving my mouse delicately in vertical and or horizontal manners, get the best results. Using polylines makes it easier since the midpoint grips are very useful. I can, as you can see, I'm editing this piece of geometry over here by using the from the opposite, and when I'm done, I'm going to use some dimension for everything and double check on precision. So here are the dimensions, the vertical and the horizontal. And if I want to move now the geometry, I don't have to select it all together with the dimensions. As said, I can use this for stretching and moving. In this case, moving the polyline will drag the dimensions since those are associative. So moving the geometry by itself will do. Let's give it a try. Move it from this point using the from, going left and stating the right value for the dimension, and then we can just fix the continuity of those dimension lines. Finally, let's have a look on parametric, which might be the best of best practices. Editing constrained geometry by parametric dimensions is the easier way of getting expected results in minimal time while editing. But of course, you must be very precise while constraining geometry. Note that the left outer wall moved and I don't want it to, so I can lock it using the fix parameter. And now, if I edit again the parametric dimension, it won't be moving. Dimensional constraints are not only about changing numbers. You can move to the next step by using functions. In the first case, I'll be using the equal function, so that if the left room is getting wider or narrower, so will be the adjacent at the right. But if you want to go even farther, you can use any function you want according to your design intent. In this case, we can see that I might have an equal function. So if this is from now on 280, so will be the adjacent at the right. Now let's go and divide this space equally, vertically equally. To do so, I'm going to create a function, and I'm going the extra mile using the following function. I can tell AutoCAD that the first dimension here, pardon, let's do it again, sorry. I can tell AutoCAD that the dimension of this height from this partition wall to this partition wall will not be a number but a function. The function is going to be the total height, which is D33. So I open the left parenthesis, D33 minus D34, which is the partition wall width, and I divide this by 2. So now I have exactly the same distance at the upper part and the lower. Avoiding guidelines might be difficult to adopt, since guidelines might have a significant role in your AutoCAD comfort zone. So do yourself a big favor and try to exercise a bit the from option, and then get a bit familiar with the parametric functionality, which might boost your productivity. See you in our next drill. Bye, Danny.